Coming up on News Live at 6, I'll have a look at Syracuse University's newly announced voluntary retirement incentive program.
Plus, the high temperatures here in Syracuse have been pretty consistent, but the weather conditions, on the other hand, have not been. I'll have more on what you can expect this upcoming week in just a few minutes.
And how SU students are connecting culturally through food. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
"175 SU professors were given the offer to retire this summer. Welcome to News Live at 6. I'm Anjana Dasam.
And I'm Brandon Myers in for Tyler O'Donnell. Citrus TV's Jess Hooten is in studio. Jess, what does this offer look like for professors?
Well, Brandon, these professors received a notice on Friday from the Office of Academic Affairs about the 2026 Voluntary Retirement Incentive Program. Essentially, the university is offering eligible faculty a payment for them to retire August 16th of this year. That payment includes 2 weeks of pay for each year of service with a cap at 100% of their base salary for the 2026 fiscal year. The incentive also includes supplemental payment of $500 for each year with each year of service, with a cap at $15,000. If a faculty member has a pre-existing agreement for retiring and they choose to participate in the program, the retirement date will shift to the 16th, but their financial benefit cannot exceed their current agreement. Now, what qualifies a professor for the program? The university said that, quote, eligibility was based on specific criteria applied to undergraduate program enrollment trends, along with years of service thresholds, end quote. Faculty are eligible if they have 35 or more years of benefits eligible service, or are in a department that is facing a closure, consistently low enrollment, or a decrease of enrollment of 5% or more over the past 10 years. Participation in the program is not required, but it is not binding, so faculty would have the option to review their decision over time. Some impacts we could see from this are a shift in availability of advising and programming, as well as replacement hiring for open positions. I spoke with Professor Joel Kaplan on the phone today about his thoughts on the incentive. Here's what he had to say.
Actually, for faculty, the incentive I don't think is that good. It's nice, but it's not really. I don't think it's going to encourage people who aren't ready to retire.
And the deadline for faculty to opt into the program is May 15th. That's all I have. Brandon and Anjana, back to you.
Jess, thank you for that breakdown. And the retirement offer comes as SU is sunsetting over 93 programs that had little to no enrollment. Our Zara Mullock spoke to students who are in these programs and their thoughts on the transition.
Naima is a freshman Middle Eastern Studies major, and the decision to sunset her program left her confused about why the changes were happening.
I am the participation that is being told that isn't there.
Naima explained how the changes represent the university's stance on diversity.
The school prides itself so much on its diverse student population, and the majors being sundown show that they cannot accommodate for that diversity that they advocate for so much.
Similar to programs in Maxwell, programs in the music school are also being sunset, leaving students like Grant to feel conflicted about his place in the university.
Well, it makes me feel like a cell on a spreadsheet, you know? I mean...
Despite trying to advocate for admin to change their mind about the decision to sunset his program, the lack of change was evident.
The higher up we go, the less willing they are to actually give us a reason.
Lastly, both students shared what they want faculty to know about sunsetting their program.
If, say, a student wanted to participate in the future, why is it wrong to keep that there if it's not wasting any money for you necessarily? And I do think some of them are probably just ways to save money at the expense of other students.
You don't know how intelligent we are, and I feel like you should really open your eyes up to that before you go in for the kill.
SU is announcing next year's Remembrance Scholars. The 35 selected students represent the lives lost in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. The scholars are selected through a competitive submissions process. The selection is by university faculty and staff, and we're happy to say that Citrus TV's Tegan Brostrom and Sigourney Bell were selected.
And President Biden is returning to Syracuse tomorrow. The College of Law is holding a ceremony unveiling a portrait of Biden, who is a 1968 graduate of the school. The former president last visited Syracuse in 2024 to announce the Micron funding for the area. Syracuse police officer Matthew Malinowski, says the city has been preparing for this visit for months.
The president can still be a controversial figure, even though they're not currently in office. So we prepare for the worst, and you never know. Hopefully you don't need all that preparation, but if something goes wrong, you train for the absolute worst that may happen.
The police department asked that drivers have patience with the traffic delays in the university area surrounding the visit.
The School of Education also announcing its Convocation speaker. Warner Brothers Pictures president of Global Theatrical Distribution, Jeff Goldstein, will give the speech. Goldstein is a 1977 graduate of the School of Education, where he majored in special education. The ceremony is set for May 9th at 4:30 in the John A. Lally Athletics Complex.
And a multitude of cultural associations came together last night for Syracuse University's annual International Festival. Our Grace McCloskey found that for many students, the food they brought means more than a meal.
A plate of chicken acheke, chutney sandwiches, a cup of apfel schorle. At Syracuse University, food from across the globe landed in one room on Saturday. And for many students, it carried something more than flavor.
It's so beautiful to see how I can see foods from my home and also foods from everybody else's home. Even when you're not in your country, you can always find them wherever you go.
Thank you. This is bandeja paisa from Colombia, and according to Mariana Bustro, it's a taste of home. At Syracuse University's International Fest, the food isn't just on the menu, it's the message.
It definitely feels like family, like home. I'm glad that it can be like I can have this like piece of home like here at school.
Across the room, the South Asian Student Association was sharing dishes that have followed them from home to Syracuse. But for incoming SASA Vice President Ria Gauda, sharing that food here carries a different kind of weight.
As someone who grew up bringing Indian food to elementary school, I always was scared of getting bullied about it. And so it's super important that people come in with an open mind. It just stops stigma and stereotypes that you might think about other cuisines.
For Bustro, that openness is what makes moments like these matter.
It feels like I'm sharing a piece of myself with other people, yeah.
The International Festival runs annually each spring. In Syracuse, I'm Grace McCloskey, CitrusTV News.
Grace, thank you so much. Now, we had such an incredible weekend. The sun was out, students were out on the quad, but today the rain just made its return.
I know. I mean, we get the high temperatures, but we're sitting with the rain. Our Skylar Smith is outside right now. What's it looking like outside right now?
Well, Anjana and Brandon, for the first time this semester out on the weather deck, I am not wearing a jacket, which is super exciting. The weather this weekend was absolutely beautiful. The sun was out and shining, and while we did see a little bit of sun earlier today, unfortunately, the clouds are back in and we did see some rain showers. It is currently 71 degrees outside, so luckily it is still pretty warm, but the wind gusts are pretty strong at about 28 miles per hour, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. If you're going on a walk later tonight, you might want to throw on a lighter jacket. And later tonight, the temperature is only dropping down to about 58 degrees, and the wind gusts are going to calm down a little bit, and they're only going to go up to about 9 miles per hour. So definitely something to look forward to. But I'll have your 5-day forecast when I'm back in the studio. For now, I'm out here nice and warm, but I'll have more in just a little bit.
Skylar, thank you. And the Claytown Board will again try to pass a noise ordinance from Micron Construction. This is the third time Clay is trying to allow Micron to make construction noise from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. The board originally proposed no noise limits to allow 24 hours of construction back in 2024, which was updated to match the time that Micron actually plans on doing construction. The vote is set for April 20th during the next regular town meeting.
And tomorrow, Syracuse is set to memorialize Lieutenant Michael Husak and Officer Michael Jensen, the officers that lost their lives in a shooting 2 years ago tomorrow. The Call to Duty statue will include a patch dedicated to the Syracuse Police and Onondaga County Sheriff's Department. The bases of the statue will include tributes to both the late officers. The memorial's unveiling is set for 9 a.m. tomorrow at the James Pass Arboretum.
and a 30-year-old man is facing multiple charges in connection with an explosion Friday afternoon. Police say an explosive was placed in a cupcake vending machine that shook the multi-tenant office building off James Street in downtown Syracuse. The accused was arrested Friday by Syracuse police, and according to Onondaga County Jail records, he was charged with first-degree arson and multiple other crimes. The investigation remains active and ongoing.
And Governor Kathy Hochul giving up to $150 million to expand heat pump installation across New York. Funding will be administered by the state's Green Small Buildings program, which aims to expand access to clean heating and cooling technologies. The funding aims to reduce emissions and improve affordability for homeowners and renters. Residents can access it through the state's mortgage program. And still ahead on News Live at 6, Congressman Eric Swalwell now resigning amid sexual assault allegations. Hear the latest next.
And the latest in Iran, the U.S. U.S.'s next steps after failed negotiations when your campus news leader returns.
In foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Women are bad with money.
That's what the world's been saying for centuries.
But now, we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement. So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault.
Then the funds. Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
You're watching CitrusTV News, live at 6, with Anjana Dasam, Tyler Oldano, and Skylar Smith. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. Just moments ago, Representative Eric Swalwell announced he is resigning from the House of Representatives. This comes hours after the House Ethics Committee announced an investigation into the congressman for allegations of sexual misconduct. Swalwell was also ending his bid for California governor.
Swalwell was a long considered top contender ahead of the state's June primaries, but on Friday, the San Francisco Chronicle published reports in which women accused Swalwell of rape and assault.
Swalwell went to X last night saying, quote, "I am deeply sorry for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious, false allegations that have been made, but that's my fight, not a campaign's." And updates now on the Iran war. A U.S. military is blocking Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran warning it could retaliate, calling the blockade illegal.
This comes after the U.S. and Iran failed to reach a peace agreement with Pakistani mediators this weekend, and Iran refusing to give up its nuclear ambitions. Pakistan is currently pushing to get a peace accord before the current ceasefire runs out next week. And a federal judge has been dismissed a $10 billion defamation lawsuit from Donald Trump directed at the Wall Street Journal. The lawsuit revolves around a birthday letter written by President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein that was published by the Journal last July. The letter was sourced from Epstein's estate.
Judge Darren Gales dismissed the complaint this morning on the grounds that the Journal had not published the letter with actual malice. President Trump's legal team has expressed intent to refile the lawsuit.
And a Truth Social post by President Trump has been taken down after a tense exchange between him and Pope Leo.
The president posted this photo, which has sparked backlash, depicting himself surrounded by medical workers and soldiers. The post came moments after Trump criticized the Pope, saying he was weak on crime.
In recent days, Pope Leo has been critical of the war in Iran. Trump addressed reporters earlier today and was asked if he wanted to apologize to the Pope.
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead.
Trump also told reporters he saw the photo depicting himself as a doctor rather than Jesus.
And more than 1,000 actors are signing a letter against the merging of Paramount Skydance and Warner Bros. Discovery. Those are citing concerns about merging in a market that is already heavily consolidated. Key signers include actors Bryan Cranston, Jane Fonda, and Joaquin Phoenix.
Paramount Skydance chief David Ellison has already made promises of honoring the legacy and maintaining the values of both companies while moving forward and growing in the industry. Major concerns in the letter include fewer jobs, higher costs, and limited choices for audiences.
Next, I'll have your 5-day forecast. Stick with us.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. We're joined by our weather anchor, Skylar Smith. Skylar, you know, we've been seeing that rain. It's been humid. What have you been feeling, Brandon?
Yeah, it's definitely been really humid. I've certainly been sweating. What about you?
I know. Today was definitely one of the hotter days we've had this semester. Honestly, I walked outside and my hair also frizzed up a little bit. I don't know if you experienced the same.
I have frizzy hair, so anytime it gets a little bit humid, hair goes poof, and
Exactly.
I'm not happy with that. But how are those temperatures looking like for the rest of the week?
Yeah, well, luckily the weather is going to be pretty warm for the rest of the week. However, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we can expect some rain showers. But again, luckily the temperatures will be pretty high, with about 74 degrees on Wednesday and 78 degrees on Thursday. And then on Friday, the clouds are going to come back in. The temperature is going to drop a little bit down to 63 degrees, but it's still going to be pretty warm compared to the winter we just experienced here in Syracuse. And then on Saturday, luckily, the sun is going to come back out with a high of 77 degrees. And this warmer weather means that we are nearing the end of our semester. And I wanted to take a second to reflect on last night's CitrusTV banquet. We celebrated an amazing year of news coverage. As you can see here, we were signing our board, and we had our alumni speaker, Liam Crowley, who was super involved with CitrusTV when he was a student here. This is a picture of the Monday News Live at 6 team with our very own Jess, who won Rookie of the Year. It was such a fun evening to celebrate all of the hard work that everyone's put in, and I can't believe that the semester's already over, but I'm looking forward to the next two shows we have left. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys.
Skylar, thank you. And as a temporary ceasefire continues, gas prices have begun to steady. Taking a look at the gas prices, the national average is staying steady at $4.13. That is the same average price for regular unleaded gas as yesterday.
Mid-grade fuel sits just over $4.60. Premium prices are once again below $5 at $4.99 per gallon, and diesel fuel is down to $5.65. Now, all these gas prices are down 1 cent from yesterday's averages.
So it sounds like I'll be getting my steps in, and because I wasn't driving this weekend, guys, I was planted on the couch for an exciting Masters finish yesterday after Syracuse Athletics triple header in the Dome on Saturday. How did it all shake out? We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at it.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back. We're joined by our sports anchor, Andrew Della Piana. Andrew, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Now, I know it's a big time of the year for golf fans. I was able to catch a little bit of the Masters yesterday, but is this matchup living up to the same excitement as previous years?
I think it did, Brendan. You think of all the storylines that went into last year about Rory trying to get that first Masters, and he eventually did back in 2025, and he had to wait more than a decade to win that first one, but now he finally takes only a year to take home that second green jacket. And as what happened with last year's Masters, this victory didn't come easy for Rory. We take you to the 18th hole where he was holding a two-stroke lead. He badly sized his drive into the trees. However, like Rory's done all year long, scrambled and two-putted for bogey and a one-shot victory over world number one Scottie Scheffler to get that second Masters. And McIlroy becomes the first player since Tiger Woods back in 2001, 2002 to be a Masters champion in back-to-back years, joining some illustrious company. Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, only the fourth golfer in the past 40 years to hold a lead or co-lead after each round of the Masters. What a season it has been for Rory to get that second green jacket in a matter of years. But back here on the hill, Syracuse women's lacrosse capped off a Cuse triple header in the Dome on Saturday. The number 3 Orange concluded their regular season home slate by hosting number 15 Notre Dame in a game for the ages. And why do I say that? It's because it took 4 overtimes, 1 second left on the clock in that fourth OT. Caroline Trinkus calling game for a 10-9 win in the longest game in Syracuse women's lacrosse history. The game was the third in program history to even reach a fourth overtime, and the first since May of 2010 when Syracuse actually took down Notre Dame in 4 overtimes there. And it gives Reggie Thorpe the nation's longest active winning streak at 12 games. That team is absolutely rolling at the moment. In the second leg of the triple header, didn't need quad overtime, didn't even need one. Number 6 Syracuse men's lacrosse welcoming in longtime Rebel number 9 Virginia as legendary head coach John Desko was in attendance and became the 10th member of the Ring of Honor, and he was treated to a dandy inside the dome. Let's take you how it went down between the Cavs and the Orange. And it was actually UVA who got on the board first. Ryan Dunkel scoring 39 seconds in for the Cavs, but that would be the only lead UVA would have in the game. The Orange responded late first quarter with a 4-0 run capped off by Peyton Anderson scoring in front to make it 3-1 Syracuse at the end of one quarter. UVA wouldn't go, though, away easy. Truett Sutherland cuts the lead back in half. It's a 1-goal game, 8 minutes left second quarter. Then Joey Spallina finding Finn Thompson out in front. It's back to a 2-goal SU lead with the Orange up by 1 here at halftime. Then Brennan Millian, his 25th goal of the season, sneaks in on the short side to McCool. Back to a 2-score game, but the Orange continue to pile it on in that second half. Wyatt Hoddle getting his first collegiate hat trick to make it 13-9 at the end of 3 quarters. And then Jimmy McCool in net. Was McCool calm and collected, if you will. 18 saves for the junior to pick up the victory in this one. And after he was benched during that UNC game last week, how do you regain himself this time around, Jimmy?
I think it started Sunday. My girlfriend got me a record player for my birthday. So I went into my room, turned all the lights out, and just listened to Tame Impala's new album, and then was reset from there.
It's not a bad choice, Jimmy. I'm more of a Luke Combs guy myself, but hey, whatever works. Well, Syracuse football gave its fans its first look at the 2026 squad during the spring game on Saturday. The Orange team took down the Blue team 9-7, an absolute offensive thriller, if you will, on a 50-yard field goal from Trip Woody as time expired. So let's take a look at the full slate for 2026. The Orange open up 145 days away on September 5th against New Hampshire in the Dome. Some other key home games inside the Dome. It's going to be packed, guys. ACC contest with SMU, Cal, Clemson, and Louisville before wrapping up that home slate against Notre Dame, where the Orange lost 70-7 against the Irish just this season to go. Back to you guys.
Andrew, thank you. And coming up, we'll have one last look at your wake-up weather.
Don't touch that remote.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. If you're waking up for work or class tomorrow around 9 a.m., it is going to be 63 degrees outside, and the temperature is going to pick up to about 71 degrees later in the day, but we are going to experience some scattered rain, so keep that in mind throughout your day. Brandon and Anjana, back to you guys.
Skylar, thank you. And this past weekend was the first 3 days of the annual musical festival, Coachella. This weekend's headliners were Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G, and all three had memorable performances.
That's right. Well, Carpenter brought out 4 special guests, including her Girl Meets World co-star, Corey Fogelmanis. Bieber was on stage with just him and his computer screen shared for the crowd to see, while Karol G was the first Latina artist to headline the festival. Now, Anjana, I saw some of these tickets were going for up to $4,000. Are you willing to pay that price?
Absolutely not. I love these artists, but that's too much. And also, it's so hot out there. but I will say I've been watching it from my phone on TikTok because they always post those clips. Justin Bieber was just really cool. He kind of brought in his old music and new music, so that was really cool. What about you? Justin Bieber fan?
No, but I like to listen to some Carpenter on the way over to the studio. But unfortunately, that's Citrus TV News live at 6 for this Monday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Anjana Dasam.
And I'm Brandon Myers. Have a great night, Syracuse.